Hi everyone, my name's Lou, and I'm going to share with you a recipe for baklava, far from the traditional recipe. So we call this pineapple cheese baklava. I'm going to give you just an overview here before we get started. It is a pineapple cheesecake type of filling with phyllo dough. So basically what I'm going to do is take this huge bowl. I'm going to mix 3 pounds of cream cheese. I'm going to mix 3 eggs, of course. And I'm going to put about 2 cups of sugar, some vanilla extract, preferably McCormick's, but any vanilla extract will work. I'm going to mix that up really well and nice and creamy with a mixer or by hand, whatever you choose. Then I'm going to take some dull crushed pineapple, and I am going to squeeze the brine out of it so that it's sort of not dry, but it's not wet. Then I'm going to take my pineapple and mix it in my cheesecake. So I'm going to whip that all up. When it's all finished, put together, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and let it set up for about 15-20 minutes, just so it gets cold. There's an important part that comes with that, and I'll tell you about that when we get to it. So I'm going to melt my butter in the bowl. I'm going to try to keep it just above room temperature, about 80 degrees, your butter, so that it doesn't separate as much, and it's much easier to work in the pan. I have 4 packs of phyllo dough, your tomato, which is ever your choice. Anyhow, 1 piece at a time, I'm going to butter every layer in the pan. I'm going to put about 1.5 packs, maybe 1 3/4 packs of phyllo dough in there with my last layer before I put my middle in, overlapping the edges, so that I can actually close it in and finish forming. But that about 1 3/4 packs. Then I'm going to put in my mixture. I'm going to roll it out there. I'm going to take my edges of my phyllo and fold it over, put a piece on top, and then I'm going to start buttering layers in. Now you have to be very careful. You don't want to get cream cheese on top of your phyllo because it'll burn in the oven. It'll make a bad presentation for your product. So anyhow, my butter brush is a big butter brush because, as you'll find out, I'm pretty quick at this, and I want to get this done quick. So after I get it all put together, I'm going to have about 3.5 packs of phyllo dough in this pan, which is about 12 by 16. I am going to set it in the refrigerator or even the freezer for about 3 or 4 minutes. That lets the butter get hard on the phyllo dough. So because it floats on top of the cream cheese, it's a little tough. But when you pull it out, before you put it into a 250 degree oven for about an hour and 15 minutes, you score it. Now you only want to score the top layer of phyllo. If you score all the way through into the bottom layer, when you pour your syrup on after it's cooked, then it'll make it soggy on the bottom instead of keeping it crisp and buttery. So we're only scoring the top layer. I'm going to score it 1, 2, 3 times this way, and I'm going to score it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times that way, and that should give me about 48 pieces. So I'm going to wrap this session up. No, actually, real quick, I'll tell you, I'm taking some pineapple juice while this is baking and putting it in the pot, and I'm going to use sugar in the pineapple juice. I'm going to incorporate it slowly and keep stirring it for about an hour until it gets syrupy. Then, after everything's finished, both your syrup and your baklava cool to room temperature, and then at that point you drizzle your syrup on top of your baklava. I always go into the cuts because when it cooks, it actually opens up. I go inside the grooves with my drizzle so that the top stays crispy and good for many days, actually about 5 or 6 days. So this point, I'm going to get all my stuff in my pot, then I'm going to get back with you and show you exactly how I get started. Be back.